Evening, everybody, and welcome to the October 9th, 2023 Beechwood Independent School District Board of Education meeting. Mrs. Reed, would you do a roll call, please?
Mrs. Berger? Here. Mr. Hood?
Here.
Dr. Salvagnano?
Here.
Mrs. Slate? Here. Mrs. Stricker?
Here.
Okay. Do we have anybody sign up for public comment, Dr. Stacy? All right, we can go right into our discussion and action agenda. If I can bring it up.
It'll be a quick one.
Okay. So basically, all we have is the consent agenda. I'll go ahead and take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, this is one of those times as a small district that if it wasn't required by law, we would not be in a meeting tonight. Hopefully, unless I mess up, it'll be a quick one. No discussion action agenda items. We will have some next month. There's nothing out of the ordinary on consent agenda, so everything's pretty routine.
Okay.
Mrs. Berger?
Yes.
Mr. Hood?
Yes.
Dr. Salvagnano?
Yes.
Mrs. Slate?
Yes.
Mrs. Stricker?
Yes.
All right, we go into our information section. Our superintendent's report, please.
Okay, so just to update you on construction, the 3/4 of the front of the project is ahead of schedule. I mean, there's absolutely no problems. We'll be starting the roofing, the final roofing on Monday. Basically, the first floor is pretty much finished as far as the internal workings. Not any of the finishes, but as far as the heating and plumbing and everything but pulling wire on electric, it's ready to go. Second floor is framed, and I would say they're about 50% through on the HVAC, plumbing, and electric. So we're in really, really good shape, 3/4 of the building. The one issue that we've discussed is the steel over the auditorium. They started that today and feel like they will be finished by October 21st. And then they will back their way out and do the foundation, the block wall and the brick wall for that side entrance. Probably looking around Thanksgiving, for that being completed. And if that's the case, we should be easily dried in and ready to go for the winter. Overall, pretty pleased, but the frustration with the big steel. So they're going to start, they're going to set that in pieces from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. And then they, one day while we're out for if there's any extra items that they can't get done, it'll be that November break. But they anticipate they're being finished by October 21st. If that's the case, we're in really good shape. Windows will go in. They started prepping for windows. Windows will be the next thing that goes in after the roof. And then I should have a really good idea on exactly the full drying date at the November meeting.
So why did they not get the steel in this past week if we had it?
Yeah, that's a great question.
What was the question?
Question was, why didn't they get the steel put in this last week while we were on break? I said, that's a great question. I mean, you knew it took some negotiations to get they're short on manpower.
Yeah.
They've got 5 projects going on at the same time in a very close proximity. So we had to press to get back to the top of the list, and that just didn't happen during break. Just to be
It just seems like logistically that would have been
that would have been a much better time than early in the morning. I have cautioned them that I'm a little worried that the lighting, managing that kind of weight and that much steel, I'm a little concerned, but they say they'll be ready to go. So they're the ones that do it every day. Other than that, we should be in good shape. The longest going stadium entrance in the history of stadium entrances is still in process. They're doing the caulking of the joints as we speak. The sign package is the problem at this point. So the arch over the gates and the Hall of Fame signage. Some of that stuff is still missing. So I give them a little bit of pass on it. They thought it was in with the metalworks, and it was actually put in with the sign package on the main, with the main building. So they had
Also to be done way later?
no, so they pulled it out. They pulled it out, but it was a clerical mistake, and some of those things are going to happen. So we should be completed about the time for playoffs, if we're
Yeah, that's small stuff, though.
yeah. It looks good. It's functional.
As long as we get this thing,
Yeah, this is the main.
The steel's more important at the
Yeah.
moment.
The steel is the #1 issue, and Justin's been pushing as well. The steel is the #1 issue on the job site right now. If the big stuff gets set in the next 2 weeks, we're in really good shape. If it doesn't, we're going to have steel. And then just as a reminder, we'll start the back right after basketball season. And the gym lobby will be down, that will be completely down over summer break. Because all that HVAC will have to come out into the lobby. So we still have a lot of work to do. Still looking at, a good solid year before everything's finished up. But we should be in good shape for the start of school. They understand. Our lease at Hemmer runs out on June 30th. And we're not planning on re-signing the lease for 3 of the 4 trailers. So, that's one of our impetus to keep this moving forward is we don't want to spend that money to maintain those leases. And 2 years is a long time for the students not to be, in that part of the building. So we'll be in good shape. We'll continue to push. We still just have a lot of work to do. It will be clean. And we will do some extra safety measures for the hard hat walkthrough on the 21st. The faculty has an opportunity to walk through it on the 20th, the night before. That'll give the Tiger Ambassadors some practice for their areas of the tour. And then it'll be open, what do we say, 1 to 4 or 10 to 2? 10 to 2 on the 21st, homecoming weekend. Any specific questions?
Is homecoming weekend this weekend or next weekend?
I'm sorry?
Next weekend? Homecoming weekend next weekend?
Homecoming is the
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay.
We aren't home next weekend as far as football.
That's homecoming.
Carol's away this week, and then
Correct.
Bracken.
Bracken next week.
Next week.
And then 5.
And Bracken's homecoming, right? Yeah. Any other construction questions? We will have a finalized furniture package for you guys by the December board meeting. We need to go ahead and make sure that we put that in January to make sure we have plenty of lead time for everything to get in. So that will be on your December agenda. Any other questions? All right.
How are fundraising?
I'm sorry.
Fundraising?
Fundraising, we have WolfX, Wednesday, 5:30 to 7:30. We will not put stadium seats or auditorium seats on sale until, the first of the year. That would be, but I mean, we're still, I still project us somewhere around 1.5 million. And that's where I think we'll be, which will give us a little bit of buffer on some of those big ticket items, in the labs that they're wanting.
Did you say the tours were 10 to 2?
10 to 2 on the 21st. Obviously, you guys can come anytime if you let me know when you're coming. It will not be an active site that day, so nobody will have to wear a hard hat.
Oh,
So
that's nice.
nobody, they canceled work, which I think is the best idea. Otherwise, we were going to have, 60 hard hats and be very, very, cautious on the areas. So they just canceled and
so
cleaned
how
it
am I
up.
gonna steal a hard hat?
I'm sorry.
How am I gonna steal a hard hat now?
Well, I'm sure we can hook you up if that's on your wish list for Christmas. All right, guys, that's all. I apologize, but, you know, we're required by law to have a board meeting every month to share our financials. So that's basically all I have this month.
Details for a homecoming and like the Hall of Fame and all that information, will that be sent out? Okay.
That's right. It's not in the barn, correct? It's in the gym.
Is that winter formal or homecoming dance?
Where is it? Oh,
Mark's gym. I used to know those details, but with a kid graduating, you kind of miss them.
That's the
All right,
truth.
what else you got?
that's all I got.
All right. Brad?
Nothing.
Tom?
Very good on my side.
Melanie? Amy?
I think we need to congratulate Dave Myers for his,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's all about the
yeah. Dave Myers is
coach of the year.
track coach, the girls' track coach of the year. Now he's got a lot of pressure. Bring that championship home. All right, guys, that may be the shortest, but that's all I have.
Do we have a closed session?
Oh, yes. We have
Yes,
closed
we do.
session.
I will go ahead and take a recommendation for going into and out of closed session to discuss certain things.
I'll move to go in closed session to discuss
Pending,
Yeah,
pending litigation.
pending
certain
litigation
Pending
per
litigation.
KRS 61.810C.
Oh, Mrs. Berger?
Yes.
Mr. Hood?
Yes.
Dr. Savignano?
Yes.
Mrs. Slate?
yes.
Mrs. Stricker?
Yes.
All right.